What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy King Elo. We'll be reacting to players explaining how good Larry Bird was. Go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below any new videos you want me to react to. Larry Bird is a beast. Yeah, I know that already. I know he already got a shot. I know his passing was decent. So it's gonna be interesting. I wonder what they got to say about him, because it's different when you're playing against him. Because you watching that, we watch it, it seems like it's nice, but when you playing against him, it's like, how is he doing that? When you playing defense, you the one guarding him. Can you imagine you guarding Larry Bird and he hitting some of that stuff he hitting, and they watching you on TV because they televising all Larry Bird games? Embarrassing. He was embarrassing everybody who was guarding him pretty much in the 80s. I'm never gonna waste any more time. This is like 16-minute video, so it's a little longer. Let's jump right into the video.
It's your boy YG, aka Yangala, and Larry Bird is one of those guys we have to put respect on because he was cooking your favorite player in the 80s. And what made him so special is that he can shoot lights out and his IQ was off the charts. That's what really made him unguardable. And the cherry on top of all of that is that he will talk a whole lot of trash. And it was so disrespectful. I'm not gonna say anything because the NBA legend's gonna talk about it, but Larry Bird was so good that he scored 47 points with his left hand. It was getting too easy for him in his prime. And I hate how people don't think Larry Legend won't survive in today's league just because he wasn't the most athletic. But that doesn't make any sense because there's players like Luka Doncic who are unathletic but skilled. If anything, Larry Bird will excel in this league. Just his shooting alone will make him a threat. This is an all-time great we're talking about here. Legends will find any way to dominate the game. So anyways, man, we're gonna listen to NBA legends and players talk about how scary good prime Larry Bird was. But before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
Enjoy yourself, dog. You bitch, fuck you. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. All right, take care. Thank you. Work on that golf game of yours.
Damn.
One of the greatest players ever played.
So much greatness in that one room right there.
The kid from French Lick, Boston, and one of the few guys that ever be in a three-point contest and shoot with a warm-up shirt.
Legendary moment right here.
And but just as he played till he couldn't play no more. Obviously, we know that he just played till he literally couldn't play the game no more. He gave everything he had, and for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter, but he was so much more than that. He was a passer. He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended, took charges, and he's just a straight-up complete basketball player. And me as a small forward, Scotty, Bird, Doc, George Gervin, so guys that I kind of looked up to being a small forward. And they kind of set the precedence of what it is to, go out there as a professional and give it all. So, I've always been a big fan of Larry Bird, and I'm
got to be at the small
greats,
forward position
like him.
Larry Bird definitely arguments with the best.
James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, Kareem Abdul, all the Laker greats. I would always sit down and just ask them questions about certain games that I studied growing up. What actually happened there? What did you feel there? Why? Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So I'm missing something. So tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Kind of complimented Larry in the past. Is that kind of a cool thing?
Hell yeah. Somebody texted me after the game and showed me a screenshot, and I was giddy like a little kid. I mean, you grew up watching Larry Bird, and, well, not really, he's older, but you grew up kind of knowing the legend of Larry Legend, and, to be amongst the greats, that's all you really want to do. That's a great accomplishment, but I keep going. Just a love for the game and love for practice and love for shooting. I think that we're similar in those areas, but he allowed players like myself to kind of dream big and think big at that position and to do things
small forward,
that traditional small forwards, I guess, or big men weren't doing, and he's one of the first guys you see.
Patterned my game, who I wanted to be like, who I wanted to play like after Larry Bird, so I was torn. So I love them both, and to have a chance to play against Larry early on in my career, and then kind of be under his leadership when he took over as head coach, it was a thrill for me because that was, one of the players that, I really idolized and patterned my game after.
What Larry was able to do on and off the court, it defied description, and it was very much like being on tour with the Grateful Dead, in that you never knew what was going to happen. You knew it was going to be fun. You knew it was going to be great. You knew it was going to be dynamic. You knew it was going to be explosive. But you could never say, that's what's going to happen.
I think his first 8 or 10 points were left-handed. And at that point, McHale was still coming off the bench. And so Larry scores his 6th point on some kind of left-handed shot.
Bird against Kersey.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
Change for Bird, another three-point try.
Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one. I think it went right down the wire, and we might have won by 1 point.
Beat you right there. You got to keep them under control. They don't.
I went to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. And I remember saying to myself, well, maybe he's just getting into the game. And I remember the first play of the game, he said, you don't even belong in this league, Holmes. And he shoots a three. I'm like, I wasn't mad he made the three. I said, did he just call me Holmes? You know? But I remember after the first time, I made a great play against him. I remember him saying, he said, you got some toughness, man. I like you. But he said, I'm still getting 40 tonight.
Damn.
He got about 38, so he kind of proved his point. But I mean, I knew he was a super player before I came into the NBA. But when I had a chance to play against Larry Bird, I can count on one hand the type of guys like him that you had to be totally focused in on. If you didn't, he would embarrass you.
Bird 6. Okay. Bird, for those that don't know, won 3 straight MVPs in the league.
See, I didn't know that.
The Showtime Lakers and Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys president.
Damn.
3 straight MVPs. Okay. MVP.
So you would say that was the baddest white boy ever?
No question. It's not even a guess.
No
doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man.
And he would tell you to play and catch it over there and shoot it.
Larry Bird, he was not a nice guy.
He talked to everybody. He was talking trash all the time, man. But fun.
And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm going to score right here on you.
And he came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me. And the last one was left-handed. And he asked me if my mother was watching.
He was calling shots off the glass. Who's next? Where you want this one from? And he just made one after
He was getting
another.
over everybody's skin on 18.
When he got to about the 55th point,
Look at that fade.
you knew it was something special. Even as a player, and that usually doesn't happen, but we're down so much at the time. You had time to realize the game.
We're on the free throw line, and he literally says, left side over across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
Yeah, that was the one game that I think he tortured Dominique. He saw Dominique, this up-and-coming player, and he just.
Here you go, Larry fade. That's always green.
I mean, it was.
You couldn't stop that.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, and so it was a bad night.
It's going to be a 3, and it's going to be awful decent. Then he said,
I would hate to be in this game.
Ricky Brown, I'm not for sure who it was.
He just hit everything.
He shot this high
kind of finished the game, let him hit everything.
Goes in, Ricky bumps into him and accidentally knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Livingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating
Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever, because back then you didn't have, you watched the real game and just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept not the shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys. You remember they're giving each other a high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah,
too.
that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the
I
guys on the Atlanta.
I mean,
the guys on the
what
Atlanta
can you do?
bench.
You gotta just enjoy that.
Watch the reactions on the Atlanta bench.
He's saying everything.
Yeah, when you get now watch Cliff Livingston. Come on,
damn.
Cliff.
That shouldn't even have went in.
And our film session was 20 minutes of that.
At the three-point competition, walking in the locker room, who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did.
Damn, who's playing for second?
Who's going to get second place in the three-point contest? When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys like you always did.
Yeah,
everybody?
I didn't. You know, I had no clue. I never really practiced. Me and Danny used to shoot some before.
Just
we
that
went out
much
there.
confidence. He was that
Everybody's
good.
sitting there, everybody's real quiet. You really didn't. You knew the guys, but you never were around them.
Three-point contest at the All-Star break, and Larry walks in and says, "I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this." Excuse me?
In fact, there was one game in Cleveland.
Confidence, I'm telling you.
And he told me
You
where
gotta
he
walk
was
around with
going
that kind of
and where
confidence.
he was going to shoot.
Nah, I won't hear about it.
Okay.
I won't hear about it.
It was 91-92 season, and we was playing the Boston Celtics. It was
Damn, it's towards the end of his
Mikhail
career.
Parrish, the great three, Ainge, and we was up one. Okay.
Where he was having a pretty rough first half, and in the old days in Cleveland, you walked off the court the same way at halftime, and I kind of puffed up on him and walked beside him and was like, "Yeah, you're 1 for 10." I was like, "That's defense, you know." And
Damn.
he just kind of
Running his mouth.
and said, "There's two halves," and he came back out and hit about 10 in a row on me.
And
Damn.
we was up one. Okay. He said, "Who's guarding me?"
He's
After
telling
he come
me.
out of timeout. Now remember, I'm a rookie because Price is out because he hurt. Right. He says, "Who's guarding me?" I says, "Craig Elo." He says, "Why you got that white boy on me?"
Damn.
Don't put no white boy on me.
He said that was the most.
Now remember, Larry Bird is white.
Right.
And the last one was left-handed, and he asked me if my mother was watching.
Bird didn't talk trash to you, did
Oh
he?
my God, Bird talked trash to everybody.
Charles Barkley.
But didn't he? Did he get to a point where he had respect for you?
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, "Larry, what's going on with you?" He says, "You guys are being disrespectful to me." And I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You guys are putting a white guy on me." That's
Damn.
disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white
He felt
guy?
I
disrespected.
can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. But he says, "It's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me."
Bird used to tell people. I remember he told me a story about Xavier McDaniel. He said,
The X-Man, yeah.
X, I'm going to get the ball right here. I'm going to shoot a jumper right in your face.
It was a tie game. They had the ball, and DJ was stalling the basketball.
Tie game,
And,
too.
Larry was kind of standing outside behind him, like denying him the ball. And they called a timeout, and he turned around and looked at me and said, "I'm going to score right here on you." And I said, "I know you will. I'll be ready."
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, "Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way?"
Damn.
So Larry,
He's ready to win. He said, "Look,
after the timeout,
give me my
we walked
space,
back
let me
on the
handle
court,
business."
and Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says,
Yeah, that's how you'll know low-key his team
I'm going to get it
garbage.
right here, and I'm going to shoot it in
When it came to like last-minute shots. Oh my, like look at that. Like you can't stop
He
that.
looked at me, he was like, "Damn."
I know his team went garbage like that.
Leave nothing on the clock.
None of them had a shot like he did.
I just looked back, and the ball just went in, hit all net, and he said, "I told you so."
He was like, "I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock." He wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Trying to get out of their skin.
You probably know this, Dan, but Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. And he told me two things one game. You know, our rotations, double teaming Kevin McHale, always had to rotate to the corner, and Larry Bird was the one shooting it. You know, so he shot one, and I mean, I'm trying to block this shot, and he would just tell me, Scott, you're a little too late. A little too late. So we playing him in the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over there that corner. He said, they're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out. He said, I'm going to curl right over. And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ?
The late, great DJ.
Yeah.
Take the ball out, man curl right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a three, game over. It's like,
damn.
are you effing kidding me?
Man, that's greatness. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Larry Bird is one of the best to do it. Definitely top 3 after MJ. My list changed since the last video, so KD is not on that list. Larry Bird, LeBron, and Kobe for that GOAT status after MJ. Those will be the 3 probably top runners. Maybe Magic. I know there's a couple other names I can go on this list. But if you liked the video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Sorry it's been a couple days. Just been trying to work some stuff out. Join the family. Come on, let's grow. But I ain't even gonna waste no more time. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.